Okay, this special board meeting of the Board of Education for April 7th, 2020 is called to order. This meeting is being audio streamed live on Channel 28 and will be replayed throughout the next 2 weeks. Please check the district website for replay times. This meeting is also being audio streamed live on our PPS TV services website. On April 3rd, 2019, Portland Public Schools received a formal written complaint regarding the accidental lockdown at Wilson High School on April 1st, 2019, and the delay in completing security upgrades. On June 9th, 2019, an appeal to the Board of Education was received, and on June 25th, 2019, the Board of Education passed Resolution 5921, which held complaint number 2019-03 in abeyance until December 3rd, 2019, and allowed for staff to resolve concerns brought forward by the complainant. On December 3rd, 2019, the complainant agreed to postpone the appeal to allow time for facility improvements to be finished, which had been delayed due to difficulties in obtaining contractors because of the high demand for construction projects in the city at that time. Staff have taken numerous steps to address valid concerns raised in the written complaint, including safety training and steps toward completing facility improvements. Welcome, Ms. Hutchinson. Thank you for being on the line and being with us tonight. The purpose of this meeting is to consider complaint 2019-03. In accordance with Board Policy 4.50032P, the district sets forth the specific procedure for resolution of formal complaints by students, parents, guardians, and people who reside in the district in order to resolve formal and informal complaints in a fair and timely manner. We will begin by asking Deputy Superintendent Hertz in 5 minutes to please provide an update on the improvements and safety training that have taken place in response to your complaint. Ms. Hutchinson, you will then have 5 minutes to provide your comments tonight. Following your comments, board members will be able to follow up with questions for you or staff. Deputy Superintendent Hertz, can you please share with the board what training and improvements have been completed at Wilson High School since the complaint was last before the board?
Good evening. This is Claire Hertz, and I'm happy to do so. In July of 2019, Wilson High School had a new principal, Philippe Prestige, and our security and emergency management team met with the incoming principal to discuss safety and security plans for Wilson High School. And the security team at that time also attended 3 days of training with law enforcement partners and school resource officers on keeping our schools safe. In August, emergency response posters were sent out to all schools for all classrooms, and all staff are required to take the emergency preparation and response course on our online professional development portal. On August 8th, 2019, the Portland Public School Security Services personnel presented to the school and central leadership on security resources and emergency management planning. In August and September, campus security received 2.5 days of security training. And then on August 26th, the Wilson staff received critical incident training and first aid training. And on August 26th, a vulnerability assessment of Wilson was conducted with campus security agents and security services supervisor. In September, both the Portland Public and the City of Portland police officers attended and proctored Wilson's lockdown drill. And then in October, all substitutes required to take the emergency preparation and response course on online professional development prior to beginning work in schools. And then in November, again, a critical incident and life-saving training was delivered to substitutes at the fall substitute training workshop. In terms of facility improvements, I'm happy to report that the security improvements have been completed at Wilson High School. The testing was done during the spring break week. And what has been installed is electronic access control systems, including video intercoms and electronic locks at the main entrance and the main ADA entrance of the school. That public address system speakers in common areas such as hallways, gyms, cafeterias, auditoriums, and playgrounds were installed. And new signage that directs school visitors to the main entry and requires check-in at the main office were installed. So that covers the training and the facilities improvements that have occurred at Wilson High School.
Deputy Superintendent Hertz, does that conclude your report?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Hutchison, would you like to provide your comments to the board at this time?
Yes, I had, prior to receiving this correspondence that Claire just read from, I didn't receive that until yesterday afternoon. I had sent an email to the board just, again, outlining my concerns about safety. I am glad to see that these things have finally taken place. The additional concern that I'm sitting here with Roro and Linlin, and part of the issue that led us to this complaint was that in an accidental lockdown, things that we were told had taken place were not implemented. So although the sub, we were told, had training, the sub did not know what to do. And so my largest concern in the fact that all of these things have been done, quote unquote, now is the proficiency level. Where's the evaluation component, or are we waiting for another incident? Last year, many of the intercoms in the classrooms didn't work. The phones didn't work. I was told that folks were sent out to fix those phones. Is there a schedule for ongoing maintenance and assurances that the things that have taken place will actually really work in a situation? It's one thing to say, okay, now we've put locks on the doors, but I sat in a parent coffee many, many months ago in the fall with a mom who has a student at Wilson and a student at an elementary school that has those locks on the doors with the video cameras, and the system was too cumbersome for the elementary school to deal with, so they just stopped using it. So it's one thing to have it, and it's another thing to, again, have a process in which you are proficient at it and that you are actually using it. There are several times in this memo where it refers to the Stop the Bleed training, which I've also taken, and my children carry the kits with them. But no teacher has those kits in their classrooms. And so on paper, it looks fantastic. And that saved a child's life in LA many months ago when there was a shooting, because the choir teacher had that Stop the Bleed kit in her classroom. Wilson does not have Stop the Bleed kits in teachers' classrooms. Someone would have to go to the couple that exist in the building to, I believe, the defibrillator station, or maybe the fire extent. I don't even know. And when I asked, I was sort of given part of an answer to that. But no teacher's going to wander around a hall looking for a Stop the Bleed kit, even though they know how to use it. If they don't have it, then it's not useful. And so that's my concern for all safety at Wilson and PPS schools, is that it's one thing to put this wonderful document together, and I'm finally, after a year, thrilled out of my mind that these things have actually occurred. And I know that you all want children to be safe, but the process of ongoing monitoring and management of a safety and security system for people who are required. My children are required to be in a building that I still don't feel has a grasp of security. And I would like to feel that, and my children would like to feel that. And my children have these kits in their backpacks because I know that they don't exist. And so if you're telling parents, oh, we took Stop the Bleed training, parents might really believe that in an actual incident, those might be used, but no one's going to run through the halls looking for them. The largest thing that's missing in this is the cameras. And one of the most grave safety issues that our children and my children of color deal with every day is the hate speech and the hate symbols that still are ongoing in the school. And without the cameras, knowing, oh, well, this was found in this classroom. And you can look at a camera and go, oh, well, these are the people that went in and out of that classroom in this time period. We now have a pool of people. Let's look at that. Let's really try and have a process that looks at the entire physical, emotional safety of the children in the school. This pandemic is another instance. I got many emails, and I was thrilled to get them, that said they were going to be doing more surface cleaning. Well, that is amazing and would provide great security if, in fact, this is transmitted on surfaces. But when asked what surfaces were being cleaned, I could not be given a list of surfaces. So I know that those desks get chairs put on top of them every night. I know that they get taken down every morning. I know that children sit at those tables and chairs every day. So just the different levels of security and safety that are health and physical and well-being and mental well-being, I think really need to more holistically be looked at in this process of safety at the school. And with regard to this particular complaint, the pieces that are missing are the follow-up and follow-through aspects of each of these things. Video intercoms and locked doors, I'm very happy to see, but if they're cumbersome and they're not being used, then it's not helpful. Roro, do you have anything? No. Lynn, do you have anything? No. Okay. The kids said that they don't have anything else. Hello?
Okay, thank you so much. Board members, do you have any questions of Ms. Hutchison or of staff? Any follow-up questions?
So this is Julia. Can I go ahead?
Yes.
So I'm just curious from staff's perspective whether they have any response to the issues that were raised by the complainant.
So I would have to check with Wilson leadership to see about the specifics of the kits for Stop the Bleed. I don't have that information with me. I will tell you that in terms of cameras, I completely agree with the Shelley Hutchinson that we would like to see security cameras in all of our schools. And we intend, we have as a staff recommendation in a future bond for installing security cameras. So that is certainly something that we would like to see as well.
Claire, this is what about those points that Ms. Hutchinson raised about that evaluation component and the ongoing maintenance? I think, as we look at multiple areas of our system, that this has been a place where we have struggled as an organization with that continuous evaluation and continuous maintenance. And is there a plan in place for these pieces related to safety, and how are we executing that?
So in terms of the ongoing maintenance of especially our security systems, we've hired an electrician. So we have work orders that come in, and so that we can maintain that on an ongoing basis. And we're also adding a second position in this next year as more of the systems come online. So we'll have an electrical one as well as one that works with the programming on the security systems. So we actually have added one FTE, and we'll add a second in the coming year to support those systems. In terms of, she also mentioned the cleaning for the pandemic. We do have lists and instructions to our custodians of what they're to do on a daily basis for cleaning high touch areas. So I'm happy to forward that on to her so she knows what custodians have been asked to do.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else with questions?
I'm curious about the safety aspect. We talked about some of the facilities related improvements that have been made, and the fact that there will be school resource officers. But what have we done to, will these systems address the hate, the incidents of hate that we're seeing at Wilson? Is there a way to, for instance, with the installation of the video cameras, be able to identify students that are marking up the school in these awful ways?
So at this point, we have not designed what those systems will look like. We know that we have frequent requests from our high school leadership teams to have additional cameras in their schools. So we'll be working with, a design team to design the security cameras that will be placed in our schools. But it will take time for us to put a bond out to the community, and that would, so it's not something that's happening imminently, but it's as soon as the board sends forward a package. And we would recommend a component of that be not only the security cameras, but we're also wanting to put the handsets on the door handles that allow staff to lock the room without a key and from inside the classroom. So we have multiple things that we're bringing forward as a security package for the board to approve in the next bond campaign.
Following on that question, are the school resource officers, I don't understand, exactly what their function is, but are they there to keep an eye out on students or watch for incidents of hate crimes before and after school? I guess I don't really understand how they operate in Wilson in particular.
So school resource officers are not in every school every day. There's only a few of them across the district. So I would say our campus security agents that are actually our employees are the ones that are in our high schools every day and have developed relationships with our students and are there to observe and just help keep keep things running smoothly and working with students and watching for anything that's out of the ordinary. So I would say our campus security agents are more involved in that day-to-day component of safety of students.
Go ahead, Rita.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about kind of the maintenance of effort. You mentioned that we have added a couple of FTE, or will have, I think, 2 more FTE. And it sounded like they were going to be doing sort of physical maintenance. And I think one of the questions was on the maintenance of effort and training like this. It's not one and done. So how is it refreshed? Are they doing like security drills the way they do fire drills, that kind of thing?
So we have a security team that works with all of our principals, and as we open up school, we have first of all mandatory online training for all personnel, and we also for safety and security, as well as we have on-site training with our safety and security staff and with instructional staff in trainings in especially our different protocols around the lockdown, lockout, shelter-in-place components. So there is an ongoing staffing and that is available to schools. There's certainly it's mostly done at the start of the school year, but certainly is available for ongoing, tabletop exercises. We respond to requests on a regular basis and support our principals in that work. And I do see that Joe LaFontaine has had his hand raised for quite some time.
I just wanted to share that I know that Principal Heastich is new this year. He knew about some of these concerns and that the staff has engaged the Anti-Defamation League in training some of the students to actually begin some work in the student body around anti-hate speech and behaviors, and actually training students on not being just bystanders, and that this has been an ongoing work that they've been doing at least the first half of this year. And I just wanted to share that piece because I had some knowledge about that.
Thank you.
This is Ailey, and I also just wanted to express to the Hutchinson family my regret that you all felt unsafe in your school. And I know as a parent of a high school student in our system that there are days when those same sorts of fears happen. She's experienced lockdowns in her school as well. And so I really appreciate your advocacy for safety, because I know that that is so important, that students feel secure so that they can learn successfully. So I just wanted to express that to your whole family.
So great point, Director Lowry. So I had just additional follow-up for Claire, Deputy Superintendent Hertz, regarding the security measures. So this, the 2017 bond had a allocation of at least 150 million for health, safety, and security, health, safety, and accessibility. And I'm assuming that this would fit on, this could fit under this umbrella. If the opportunity for us to go out for another bond ends up being extended farther into the future, is this something that the district would consider utilizing 2017 bond funds for?
So we have already doubled the amount that we spent on security than what was originally listed on the bond from the original package. So we have already used additional resources because we felt strongly that all of the measures that we were bringing forward were in all of our schools. So so at this point,
that was 5 million, right?
right, but I think we spent 9 million, or we're scheduled to spend, because we're still in the process of installing. But truly, district staff has the same goals in mind in providing the highest safety for all of our students. And right now, as you know, the 2017 bond is fully spoken for. And certainly if resources free up that allow for additional security spending, it would be something that we would put on the list for moving forward, because it is a high priority item.
Do we have any further questions from the board?
This is Scott Bailey. Last question would be, maybe the last question would be about substitutes, because there's probably at least one substitute in every school every day. How are they integrated into security routines?
So at Wilson High School in particular, so all substitutes, before they're allowed to work, go through the same online training that all personnel are required to do. And then when they come in and pick up their packet of things, they have a insert about the security for Wilson High School. And we last year delivered our protocol chart, or safety protocol chart, so that there's one posted now in every classroom, so that when someone when a lockout or a lockdown is called out, it's very clearly, it can be found in any classroom which is what is meant by each type of security protocol. So there is, as they check in with their person in the morning, they're given that information for that school.
Thank you. Anything further? Okay, the board will now vote on resolution number 6086, resolution to uphold the superintendent's decision on a step 3 appeal, complaint number 2019-03. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I believe that was Director Pass moves and Director Scott seconds the motion to adopt resolution 6086. The board will now vote on resolution 6086. All in favor, please indicate by saying yes.
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 All opposed, please indicate by saying no. Any abstentions? Resolution 6086 is approved by a vote of 7-0.
So Director, our Chair Consam, I would like to thank the Hutchinson family for bringing this complaint forward because it helped the district align all of our practices and really take a thorough look at what we were doing kind of in pieces, where each section was being done separately. And so this allowed us to look at it overall and really better prepare us throughout our system. So thank you, Hutchinsons. We appreciate your interest in the safety of our students in our district.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Deputy Superintendent Hutchinson. I would agree that the benefit extends beyond just the students of Wilson High School here. So thank you again.
Thank
Okay,
you for allowing us the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, this special meeting of the Board of Education is adjourned. Board members will reconvene on our other call for a regular board meeting. Thanks so much.